Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me. This is my first ever weekly pep talk reading, and I am super excited to be doing these. So go ahead, and if you don't have one already, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's get started. So for today's reading, I'm going to be using the Magical Mermaids and Dolphin deck by Doreen Virtue. Truthfully, I'm not a huge Doreen Virtue fan, but I do enjoy her decks, the simplicity of them, and they also give you a lot of room to have messages come through and make them your own. The other deck we're going to be using is the Chrysalis Tarot. I don't have the box. I actually keep them in a little bag, but I can try and find the author's name. Let's see. Okay, written by Tony Brooks, paintings by Holly Sierra. There we go! Yay, Chrysalis Tarot. This tarot deck is a little bit more artsy and beautiful, honestly, than the typical Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. If you don't know what the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot is, I can show you the box, and there you go. I'm sure you know what it is now, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with your weekly reading. This is for the week of July 9th, 2017. Let's get into it. I was thinking about this earlier, and it's coming up again, where it feels like there's this sense of liberation this week. So whatever that means for you, it could literally be liberation from a person, liberation from a situation, maybe a living situation, a job, or even a thought pattern or a state of mind. There's going to be a sense of realizing or re-realizing that you are the person in control of what you do and what goes on in your personal daily life. And that's really powerful. That's something that we forget, I think, pretty regularly. So it's important to come back into awareness with that and really sit with that and realize that we have the power to shape our lives in the way that we would like them to be. So, with that being said, our first card here is the Star. I think it's pronounced Elpi. I really honestly don't know. This is one of those cards that has always kind of perplexed me, which is why I think it's interesting that it comes out today. The Star is generally a symbol for hope. In this card, that's also true, and it can also mean options. So there are a lot of options this week, and we find that a lot of options comes with that liberation, right? Can you stop licking my foot? My cat's licking my foot. Sorry. There are a lot of options that come with liberation, and that's what we're going to be experiencing this week. So with that feeling of the shackles are off, I can do whatever I want to, whenever I want to, with whoever I want to, there comes a lot of indecision in regards to what we should do and who we should do it with and where we should do it. So just remember that even though there are a lot of options and it can be a little bit overwhelming, it's going to be really important to connect back into yourself. So, remember that you're the captain of your ship. You can easily tune into what you want by just asking yourself, what is it I really want? And then do that. Okay, so the second card we have for the week, interestingly enough, is the Chariot. This is a card that signifies movement. So moving on from past situations, moving on from a group of people that maybe don't resonate with you anymore, moving on from a job situation, moving into something better is the whole thing, moving into something better. And it's really important right now. It's always important, but it's really important right now that you connect into your thought patterns and what you are manifesting on a daily basis just by thinking about it. So if you know anything about the law of attraction, you know that when you think about things and you visualize yourself having things, those things eventually come into fruition. Sort of, the whole idea of energy flows where attention goes. So you don't want to put all this attention on this anxiety you have with all of your choices. You want to instead put it on where you would like to be, what you would like to see happen. And you also want to, while you're doing that, while you're trying to figure out what you want and where you want to be, because that's really a daunting task. I say it like it's easy, but it's not easy. People will say, oh, well, just think about what you really want. But it's really, really hard to figure out exactly what you want to do. That takes a lot of self-examination. It takes a lot of looking within your mind, body, and soul in order to find out what you really, really want. That's something that's really hard. And that's something that we're going to have to look into this week. And even if you don't get a full grip on the whole scope of where you want to be, even just focusing on little tiny things like, oh, well, I would like to move my body more. I would like to watch more movies. Whatever your goal is, focus on those little things and make it happen. And while you're doing that, it's really important, especially for this forward movement. It's going to be really, really important that you take a look at any self-doubt, any road bumps, any speed bumps within your confidence in your ability to make these things happen. Because if we don't acknowledge that we have those little moments of self-doubt, we can never overcome them. So, throwing all this at you, oh, this stuff is easy. You feel liberated and free. You're starting from zero. You have all these options, but no worries. Like, just figure out where you want to be and then do it. Oh, and don't get tripped up by self-doubt. That's it. This is crazy. Yeah, and these are two, it's interesting. These are two major arcana cards, and then a little theme card that I pulled. Because when I cut the deck here, you cut it and then you put the top on the bottom. So the card that's on the bottom, I often will look at. And the card on the bottom today is the Lovers, which is another major arcana card. So we're doing all of this, and we're doing it with love, and we're trying to focus on love and be grateful, and it's a crazy week. But, all of this stuff suggests that it's going to be a week for looking within you. It's one of those weeks. So if you are worried about some situation outside of yourself, like something someone said at work, or something a friend did that kind of pissed you off, something a family member did that pissed you off, this is not the week to get tripped up by those things, right? So we talked about being able to control what happens in our world earlier. You can't control what other people are doing and what they're saying, but you can control how you react and how you let others make you feel. Okay, so this week is like your permission slip to let go of all the bullshit that you have been carrying from your outside circumstances for so fucking long. So really, just put it, you don't even have to let it go. You can come back to it. You don't have to tell yourself that that's completely off limits to deal with, but put it on the back burner for just 1 week. Just 1 week. Just put it on the back burner. Say, okay, these problems exist at work, at home, in my relationship, whatever. Put them on the back fucking burner and say, I will deal with you in a week. Just simmer for a week and I'll be back. Okay? And just, focus on you. That's really what you got to do this week. And if you're trying to focus on both the outer stuff and the inner stuff, you're not going to give the inner stuff the attention that it needs in order for you to be where you need to be. All right, let's do one more tarot card. I like where this is going. The Ace of Spirals. Ooh, girl. Okay. Ace of Spirals, aka Ace of Wands in the traditional tarot deck. So when we take the time to focus within ourselves and analyze what we really want, what we really feel about things at our core, it's really magnificent, these little strokes of genius that come along while we're doing it, these little aha moments, or these new ideas, or these new senses of motivation and being driven and having new ideas and be like, yeah, I really want to do that. When we take that time to look within ourselves and find out what we really want and who we really want to be around, and the work that we want to do, when we take the time to look within ourselves, we find our answers, right? We're not going to find our answers by worrying about my boss and my friend and my ex-friend and my mom and my dad. We're not going to find our answers looking to other people like that, okay? It's time to look within ourselves, and we will get what we're looking for. We will find it. We just have to do the emotional internal work. That's what it is. It's not easy, but that's the easiest way to get from point A to point B right now. Okay, let's do one final oracle card, or one oracle card, our only oracle card from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck, just to give us a little bit more firm guidance, I guess, on what we can be doing this week to help us along, right? Okay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, in addition to looking within ourselves, it's important that we also observe the world around us. So, observe, not get sucked in, right? Watch things around us. Watch for repeating numbers. If you see a repeating number, where am I right now? What does that mean? If you see, a word or a symbol or an animal or something that means something to you, what were you thinking about right before you saw that? What were you doing right before you saw that? If you can realize those synchronicities and keep track of them, that will be your additional guidance, in addition to looking within yourself. So it's really hard to look within ourselves and have that be the only way that we can move forward. We aren't out on the front lines of our lives alone. Regardless of what you believe in, God, a higher power, the universe, there's a certain mystery to life. Things just have a way of working out. And I don't think anyone on this planet can really deny that. And we're not alone. Sometimes we get signals and signs and symbols that come to us in really strange ways, and it does indicate what we should be doing. It's powerful when things like that happen, because there are periods of your life where you kind of feel out of alignment and none of that stuff happens, and you just kind of feel off, and then you start a new job or you start doing something differently in your daily life, and then you start seeing these synchronicities again, and you start feeling more aligned because you're seeing, oh, right, good, I'm on the right track. It's just a little encourager. Even if you don't believe in a higher power or God or the universe or whatever, just look out for these this week. If they mean anything to you, great. If not, that's okay, cool. The universe has got you. So just keep that in mind. A lot of stuff happening this week. A lot of really profound mental breakthroughs are happening this week. And it might be really difficult for some people to sit back with themselves and analyze what's going on, especially today when we are very absorbed in our screens. It's really hard to just kind of sit in silence with ourselves and be okay with it and really observe how we're thinking and what our thoughts are like and our thought patterns, and notice where those are coming from. And if you're having a hard time with that, that's okay. If it takes you, obviously you're not going to have this, solid, concrete sense of self in a week. That's not how this works. But it's important that you take those first steps and just even realizing little patterns, little things that you think during the day and correcting those. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. A lot of times we'll catch ourselves saying, I can never do this. Why am I trying? Or this is the dumbest thing. I'm stupid for even thinking that, this would happen. Or even things that we say about our physical appearance. Like, I'm so fat. I'm so ugly. These things are hurtful to us. We have people in the outside world telling us all fucking day long how ugly we are and how fat we are and how worthless we are. We don't need to be telling ourselves that shit. So if you find yourself saying these little things here and there to yourself about yourself, be your own advocate. Stand up for yourself. Be like, I don't need to think of myself that way. No one else is going to do that for you. It's really up to you. Sorry, I went on that little tangent. I don't really know where that came from. But so this week, just to recap a little bit, there's a sense of liberation and freedom. And we have a lot of options presented to us, which can be overwhelming. And we're going to have to do some internal work in order to move forward. But we are moving forward, so you might want to do it. And then we have the Ace of Spirals or the Ace of Wands as our little reassurance that we are going to get our stroke of genius that we are searching for when we do this internal work. And then finally, don't forget about synchronicities. Look out in your daily life. Look out for things that could tell you that you are on the right track. And the overall theme for the week, we can't forget the lovers. Do all things with love. Say all things with love. Be love. Because when you are love and you radiate love, you're going to get love right back to you. If you liked this, didn't like it, have suggestions, comments, please leave them below. I would greatly appreciate any feedback you've got for me. If you hung in this long, thank you so much. Future videos are not going to be this long, I promise. And I hope everyone has a great week. Bye.